Melanie, you can use the sheet of paper for now.
Oh, that's hard.
Okay, so most of us did fine on the GCF. Some of us got the grouping with the GCF, but didn't finish it. Most of us got the perfect squares, or the difference of squares. And then the A equals 1, it was really the last section that got us the most. So the points are on yours, they're not on mine. But you should have found the GCF between these, whether that was writing out the two numbers, listing out all the factors, finding the highest, or using your calculator, going into math, going over the number, using the GCD, and putting those two numbers in. But this one also had common x's, so it wasn't just the 3, it should have been 3x. And then if we divide that from both, that would be 3x squared plus 2. So the 2 points on that were, did you get the GCF part right, what's outside, as well as what was left inside the dividing? Go ahead. Did we have questions on that one? And then same thing for this.
Wait, I did the first one exact, but I had it wrong.
Yeah.
What did you get, Jacob?
81.
So for this one, we can divide each of these by 2. You could either do that by putting the GCF or GCD in the calculator, finding these 2 and then the last 2, or you could list out all of the factors of each one. 2 was the GCF here, and if we divide each of these by 2, we get 3r squared plus 2r plus 4.
What's that?
It's 100.
However many terms you divide by, there should be that many terms inside your parentheses. So if you're missing a term, you're missing part of the answer.
Better than
No, yeah, it's not worth it.
It's better.
How's it taste, bro? Let me know.
For the calculator, find the when you put all of those numbers in, it gives you an error, so I can try it, but every time I tried it, it gives you an error. What is it, 6, 4, and 12? But you can do 2 at a time. And then go back and do the other 2. So now this one is different, but you would go with this one. Or you could do it again and put 2 and 4 in. Okay. So that one was also 2 points, the GCF and the rest. Questions on either of those? So make sure you are fixing this if you got any of this wrong so you don't make the same mistake on the test. For objective 2, you should have been splitting this down the middle, finding the GCF of the first 2, so whether you use the calculator or the factors. It should have been 5, and these both had b's, so 5b squared, leaving 5b plus 1. Then find the GCF of the last 2. It should have been 6, but it should be plus 6. You should be putting whatever symbol it is outside. And then when you divide that, we have 5b plus 1 left again. And then make sure you put your final answer. This is not your final answer. So take the outside pieces, put them together, and the inside, just put one of them. So this was 3 points. Did you get the correct GCF of the first set, the correct GCF and symbol of the second set, and then your correct answers completely? Do you have any questions on that problem? The most I saw there was just not putting the plus, so just make sure you do that. Or not putting the final answers. Again, make sure you do that. Okay, and then same thing on this side. Find the GCF of the first 2. We can divide these both by 4 and m squared, leaving 7m plus 4. we can divide these last two by -3, which will leave us with 7m plus 4. So again, another issue I saw is that we weren't putting minus. Some of us did, some of us didn't. And then our two factors, 4m squared minus 3, and 7m plus 4. The same 3 points, the 2 GCFs from both sets, and your final answer. Questions from that one? Gianna, phone away. Okay. For this one, it was hit or miss. So these were both worth 1 point. Did you get the factors because they were basically the same, except one was plus, one was minus? This should be in the exact same order. So if it starts with 1, you should have 1 in your factors. Plus, minus, this should be 5x. So remember you're looking for what times what gives you this part, what times what gives you this entire part, put those together. Some of you had 5 and then x, so those should be together. Yes?
It has to be in the same order as this one, because I put 5x minus 1.
Yes, because those aren't the same. Okay. Then for this one, most of us got this. This should have been 7a squared minus 3 and 7a squared plus 3. Squared, not 3. So you're looking for what times what gives you that number. If you're not sure, go into math, take the square root, not math, it's on the calculator, go into second and then x squared, and then take the square root of whatever that number is. So you can figure out what times what would give you that. Questions on either of those? Okay. Objective 4, if we're looking for when a equals 1s, you're looking for two numbers that multiply to be -15, but add or subtract to be 2. So you can find your factors of 15. And then if it multiplies to be a negative, one of these have to be negative. So if I made this -3 and +5, then I could go straight into my factors, put whatever variable you have, and then put those two numbers. So that one was 2 points. Did you get the two factors? Questions on that one? This next one, if it's in this section and it has a number that's not 1, it has a GCF. So factor that out. It's usually whatever this is, so divide them all by 5. And then the process is the same. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to be 1, but add or subtract to be 2. There's only 1 and 1 that multiply to be 1. So then you would keep bringing down your GCF. Some of us did not do that. And this would have two factors. Your variable is n, and these are both positive. So that one was 3 points because of the GCF. Questions on that one? And the last section. Some of us got these and some of us struggled in some of it or just didn't finish. So if you can't factor out the GCF, so always look for that first because it might help you make your life easier. Then if you still have a number outside of here that's not a GCF in this section, multiply the first two, the first and the last. Find factors of that number. 140, 220, 410, 580. That would add or subtract to be the middle. So because it's a negative, one of them have to be negative. That would be 8. Then I would take those and rewrite it. First and last stay the same. your variables. Does not matter the order in which you put these two, but make sure they both have variables. I think many of you did it the other way, put 8 first, but I'm going to show you it doesn't matter. Then, this is just like our grouping, split down the middle. Find the GCF of these two, which is just R. They both have an R. And that would be left 2R plus 5. These two, I can divide them both by 4. But it would be negative. Take that sign, bring it down, which would leave us with 2R plus 5. So then your two final factors would be R minus 4 and 2R plus 5. So points-wise, I needed to see that you multiplied this. Whether you listed the factors or not, I just need to see that you multiplied this. That you rewrote it correctly. The order didn't matter as long as your symbols, positive, negative, were correct. That you factored out each GCF correctly, and then your final factors. Questions on any of that? Louise, going away. Louise, going away. Turning just makes it more obvious. Okay. The next one is just the same. So multiply 6 and 8. While there were multiple factors, while all of these were the factors, many of you figured out that we needed 1 and 48 at the beginning. And they would both be negative. So when we rewrite this, we have 6t squared minus t minus 48t plus e. So make sure you have your variables. Split it down the middle and then keep going. GCF of these two would be t. I'm making my t's look fancy so that we don't confuse them. So we have 6t minus 1. GCF of these two would be 8, but negative 8. Because of this one. So whatever this is, make that negative or positive. So like here it was negative, so we made it negative. Then we have 6t minus 1. And our two factors would be t minus e and 6t minus 1. Away. Do we have any questions on that? The points are the same. So if you are struggling with any of these, I would use the last little bit before we go to lunch to practice, find the notes, find the review, keep doing those, get me to check any you have. And then when we come back from lunch, you guys will be taking your tests. If you have specific questions on your quiz that didn't get answered, let me know and I can come to you.